Hello there, my name is Al, and this here will be another installment in the using virtual dub for various means tutorial. Now in this bit, hopefully this is working again. I mean the internet. I had so many programs on and up and running and using up resources that it took me about 10 minutes just to get it back to this state where I can use the internet. Now, okay, I can use the internet. Now, sometimes you might find if you go online and you try to download something that the format of the file will be in this format, something.ts. Okay. Now, some media players will allow you to just play that. All right. So if that's all you want to do is to watch it, then you might be able to just go ahead and do that with your media player. Mine, in fact, does play this. But it turns out that the quality of this video is so high that my machine can't handle it. You'll notice the bit rate here. That's 10,000 kilobits per second, right? And my machine can only handle about 3 or 4 at tops. What you'd like to do is convert these files anyway, which TS again stands for transmission stream. This is the kind of data that is used for broadcast media. So things that are like high definition television, when it's broadcast, it comes out in this format. This is a stream. It doesn't have a beginning or end point. This is just what you would pick what the receiver would pick up coming out of the air or coming up over a cable or whatever. And so, for instance, also this time length is given. Most media players, if you play them, won't be able to tell you what the length of the data is. This is using a special filter. They can figure that out. In fact, I think I mentioned before, the encoder that I'm using right now is outputting to a file, but the format of the data being outputted is a special kind like this TS that is a stream and has no beginning or end. It's only when I press stop and if I've configured my recorder correctly, it will fix it up so that the resulting file will be what they call playable on your machine. By playable, they just mean that it will put in a bit of a header file and what they call an index, which will allow regular players to know where the start is and where the end is and what the speed of data rate is and so on. Okay, so I wanted to show you how to do that. Now, one thing I tried doing was using this any video converter. Well, in fact, this program is still necessary for one step, but we need another program. And what I like to do is convert. I've already done part 1 here. Taken this 1 gig file, which is at a ridiculously high resolution, more than my actual screen resolution, and changed it into this file, which is 1280 by 720, which I can handle with a decent bit rate of 4 kilobits per second. Now I can play part of this just to show you what kind of quality I get out of this AVI. First, let me just show you that the result is using the original audio from the original stream. However, the video part is XviD, MPEG-4 visual, and that's fine for my system. Now I'll try and play just a little bit of this because it'll be choppy. I'll just So if you were able to see that, and you see that the quality is essentially 100% perfect. The color depth is excellent, and it's fine. And without this recorder running, it plays perfect. Even there, for me, it was playing smoothly, but I doubt it will have been recorded smoothly. What we need now, in order to do something with a file like this, a transmission stream file, is another program which I've installed called Avidemux. It's also free, and this will allow you to actually convert a transmission stream or a part of it into an AVI file directly without doing any encoding. Now that might be good enough for you if your system is powerful enough to handle the kind of file that's going to be an output, but mine won't. So I'm going to take part 2 here. Now, first part I did, and it created an index file for it. When I try to open this, it's going to start creating an index file, and I'll let it start, and I'll pause this until that's done. Let you see the time. It takes about 10 minutes. Hello again, and welcome back. There's about a minute left in this indexing. Now I want to just point out that the method I'm going to show you, what I used through a lot of trial and error, discovered a method which works for me and works well for me, and that involves taking this file and breaking it up into chunks, and working with the chunks is faster and easier and supplies you with feedback along the way than to do the whole thing at once. You could possibly do the whole thing at once, but you have to be very careful in doing so, because if you make one mistake, you might be sitting waiting for 15 hours for something to complete and leave you with a piece of garbage. That happened to me. It was worse. It was 24 hours. So here it's decoded, it's indexed the file, okay? So now it has the length and everything. And what I do is take it in 30-minute chunks. Now, you can't cut at any arbitrary position, but that doesn't matter if you just remember that you're going in 30-minute chunks and type in either 30, 1 hour, 1 hour 30, everything else zeros, then the same cut positions will be discovered. So when you glue them back together, it'll be continuous and there should be no glitch. Now what we need to do is mark an in time and an out time. And we're currently at 0, so that's this left-hand thing, A. And when I click this, you'll see that this will, okay, now it's marked this as the beginning of my cut, and I want to go to 30 minutes. Now you just push on this time thing. Oops. I want 0, 30, and then put 0 for everything else. Now it's giving me a funny time, but I don't need to remember this funny time, because it's going to, next time I try 30, I'll get the same time, and that'll be my next start position. So I cut this off, and then just save the result as an AVI, with everything set on copy, so it's not going to encode anything. Now this is where I go. I'm calling this T2 and chunk 1, I guess. Maybe I don't have to say .avi. Now this is unmuxing, so it's fast. It's not going to take more than a couple minutes for this to complete. Now the resulting file is an AVI file that you can't open in VirtualDub, but you can play it. It'll be a file which for me wouldn't play properly on my machine, but it is a file that any video converter can convert to an XviD file, and then we can use VirtualDub. And the use for VirtualDub in this case, it turns out, because of a lucky coincidence, is only to reattach the original audio to the file and to append segments, one segment with the last, and so on. Any video converter might be able to take this AC3 audio and try to convert it, but it won't do direct copy. What we want is a direct copy. We don't want to re-encode any audio. Especially this video is to do with music, and so we don't want to lose any of that audio quality at all. Zero tolerance on audio quality. So I'll pause and let this finish. Okay, so it finished. Okay, now so we're done with that part. Now that's a free program, Avidemux. You can find it online easily. Now what we have in the AVI folder is this. Okay, you'll notice the size. It's quite big, and the data rate extremely high, 64,000 kilobits per second, and an extremely high frame size. And it's, this might be great for your high definition television that's, I don't know, like the size of a wall or something. But for a computer, this is much too much. The reason the data rate's gone up so high, I think, is because it's doubled the frame rate as well. It even says so in here, that the original frame rate was 25 and it doubled it. See? Why it does that, I don't know. But that's okay. All we got to do now is turn this into the magical format. Well, we don't need to do anything with that. You go to any video converter, and it turns out that I've already set this one up. It has a 1280 by 720 conversion, so we can do that step immediately during this first re-encoding, first and only re-encoding of the video part. And I chose this bitrate, which is perfectly fine. It's crisp and as clear as you can imagine for any video. I downloaded a video from the same concert that somebody had tried to make with whatever tools they thought were best, and it was terrible. It was a disaster compared to what you get when you do it correctly. The other one I had was at high bit rate too, and the same, similar frame size, but it was just awful, terrible. Now it doesn't really matter what you choose for audio, because they're going to discard this anyway. But this is similar to the audio rate, bit rate, and sampling, right, of the original. In fact, it's the same. So I choose that one because that'll speed up this conversion. It will have less work to do with this. than it would have if it was trying to convert formats. Although I've chosen MP3, maybe I can choose I could try that. It says there's an original setting. It might work. I haven't tried it. I know this works, so I'm going to leave it. And the result is it's better anyway if you convert to a format that's readable using virtual dub. That way you can do whatever editing you might want to do, and you can always replace the original audio later on, right? Because you've got that in an AVI file. Right? So all I do is I add this file, and it might take a minute. There we go. I don't see a picture there. Try it again. Just want to make sure it's got all the data. Okay. Now this is the only part that takes some time. It might take half an hour or something. But what I'll do is when this is done, I'll come back and I'll just do the last bit, which is nothing, which only takes 2 seconds to do. Okay, so it won't be long for you to wait, but I have to wait for this. Okay, now, so it finished, and you can see here, it took a little over an hour and 15 minutes or so to do this step, and I have a much smaller file. One thing I didn't show you, and I might as well show you, is that I can't open this, even though it's an AVI file. It won't open in virtual dub. See? Requires video for Windows codec. Blah blah blah. Directional codecs are not suitable. Now maybe if I installed a special codec, I could open that up. I can definitely open up this one and even play it because it's using XviD and AVI. And there it is. And I can step through it frame by frame. It's hard to, tell from here what it looks like, but I can tell you now that it's as far as my computer is concerned, 100% quality video. Okay. Now this is from the last recording. I haven't done anything with that. All I need to do now is what I would like to do is take this video that I can play if I wanted to, and I want to take the audio from this file, and I can do that with virtual dub, even though I can't open this file at all. First I need a directory, because I'm working on T2. Yeah, don't worry, that's my own doing, it's my own fault. I should undo that. And that's where I'm going to store the output. So I need to go to direct stream copy, open up the one I can, and audio from other file. And I just choose this one. It doesn't say anything because it's constant bit rate, there's no error. And then I just save. I want to put it in here. I'm going to call this not XviD, even though it is. Just so I can tell the difference, I'll give it a different name from what it is now. This won't take too long. It's just unmuxing. It's doing the audio video interleave. It's taking the video from this file and the audio from this file and creating an AVI audio video interleave file. And what that means is that the audio and the video are actually in the AVI format are in the same stream. They're interleaved. And I don't know if that's why, but that could be one of the reasons why the number of keyframes you choose affects the playability and the quality of an AVI file. But I'm not sure. It has nothing to do with anything. It's halfway done. Well, so that's it. Okay. Now the next step, when that's done, I can delete these two. I'm done with them. The end product is this file when it's completed. It'll be slightly bigger than this file because the original audio is a little bit bigger. So the next step is I go back to that TS transmission stream. These should really be called PS because these are program streams, right? These aren't for broadcast. These are for playback on your computer. So they're for use by a program, whereas a T file, a transmission file, is for use by something that picks up a signal and tries to render that signal as it's coming in. Sometimes they talk about whether a stream is a push or a pull. So that's done. And here it is. Okay. Now, by push or pull, what they mean is, so here we are at XviD. This I can also open with VirtualDub and modify it in the sense of adding another clip, but I won't be able to play it under VirtualDub because I don't have a codec for this AC3 audio. But I don't need that codec in order to append more segments. Now, about pushing and pulling, a file stream, a program stream, is a pull. It's something that a media player pulls data from, right? It extracts data by taking it out of this file at its leisure whenever it wants to. A stream that's a push stream is something that's coming in, let's say, through the air or over a cable, and you have no control over its rate of coming in, and you have no, it's not like you can just take as much as you want at any given time. You're being pushed. The stream is pushing you to act quickly to grab the data. So that's what they mean by push and pull. So the next step, I'll just do it quickly, start it, is to just repeat this process again. We can get rid of these. They're done. I can empty that in a minute. I go back to the same one. Which was T2. Once the AVI, I should have put it somewhere else. T2. You won't have to do the indexing again. It's done once. Now, in this case, my start time will be 30 minutes. Whoops. Time. It's hours and minutes. 0, 0, 1. Okay. Now it's that same funny number. Now that's my left hand cut, and my right hand cut will be at 1 hour. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. which again is not exactly an hour, but it doesn't matter. Now I just save this as the next segment, and in the end I'll use virtual dub to glue them all together, and there won't be any hitch from one thing to the next because it's an exact cut. It might be a small glitch, very unnoticed, almost unnoticeable. So I would call this T2.C2, and it'll just be mux that. So there you go. That's how you turn a transmission stream into an AVI without any loss in audio and have a nice AVI file that you can play on your machine, and it's pretty quick. And you can test along the way. Okay, see you.